Just when you thought Electron Co. has done it all in the pit bike scene, starting from Rizzlers to making the RTR, then the RTR Lite, but now they drop this. Alright, so admittedly, I do not have the bike yet, but this thing is way too cool not to talk about. So let's hop on the street legal RTR and talk about some of the features. And no, you did not mishear me. This RTR is in fact street legal, but let's go. So this new e-bike coined the Rizzler, crazy name, but it's consistent with Electron Co.'s branding now with their new controller, the 6.7. They're really leaning into the TikTok brain rot culture, but this isn't a whole new bike. I'm sure some of y'all have already seen it on Electron Co.'s YouTube, on Sarancer's YouTube, but I still wanted to talk about it. Basically, the Rizzler is the RTR Lite if you took LA bike life, mini bike life culture, and made an e-bike out of it. That's all you really need to know. But I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit more about it. So what does that mean if it's the RTR Lite? If the RTR Lite and a mini bike had a baby, well, basically that means that this is a 60 volt, 25 amp hour battery. So it's a little bit bigger of a battery than the RTR Lite. The RTR Lite has a 60 volt, 20 amp hour battery. But controller, motor, drivetrain, everything else is exactly the same as the RTR Lite. So it is literally the RTR Lite in the form of a mini bike. Now, it's not just a mini bike, because one caveat the mini bikes often have is that they have no suspension. So this bike actually comes with full suspension, meaning it's not going to ride nearly as crappy as a standard mini bike would ride. It also apparently is a wheelie monster, so it has tiny little 10-inch wheels, and it's allegedly a very good wheelie bike, but we will test that ourselves. It's going to come with some higher, taller bars, sort of like the bars I have on this RTR right now, out of the box. So you don't need to upgrade them right away. Hand drag. Meaning it'll be a lot more comfortable. And speaking of comfort, the worst part about this RTR is the freaking seat. It's like a Stark seat. It's literally a plank of wood, so it's not comfortable at all. So I'm really excited to test out the seat on the new Rizzler, because that's going to be way more comfortable. Especially when you're doing longer term rides, it's just way better. This thing just tears up my butt. Especially with this Thrill Seeker seat cover. Boy, oh boy, does it mess me up. Now, another interesting thing about it, let's go this way actually, is that it has storage under the seat too. This RTR had like a little bit of storage under the seat. Since I put the headlight kit on it, it no longer does, but that's another cool little mod it has. It's definitely going to be like a street riding bike. It's not going to be something you're really going to want to off-road, because it does have super small wheels and tires. Now, they are like balloon tires, so that should help somewhat. And I'm just looking around because I'm nervous because I want to wheelie here, so hopefully we don't see any cops. So I don't think it's going to do great off-road, but that's not really the purpose. It's meant to be a little street pitter. But yeah, I mean, it's essentially the RTR Lite, which I've reviewed, I've owned, and it's a phenomenal bike. Phenomenal bike out of the box. So you can expect all the great things out of the RTR Lite, except just in a little bit of different clothing in the Rizzler, which I'm so excited to freaking test out. Is ConnorG becoming a better rider? Day by day, brick by brick. I have yet to venture this far out on the e-bike. Now, what I think is probably going to be the best part about the Rizzler is that it is all the same exact parts as the RTR and the RTR Lite. What does that mean? That means suspension, motor, battery, controller, all that crap you can upgrade with the same stuff you can use for your RTR. So you can put the new 6.7 kit on it, you can put the revolver motor on it when that comes out, all those mods you can do to the Rizzler. And look at this bougie little neighborhood. Ooh, the Miata and the little B2200, I f with it, hell yeah. So this is going to be a really good wheelie bike is what is alleged. So I'm excited to try it. You also have the option to get it with wheelie pegs. So all of you pedal bike kids, it'll be a super easy transition if you want to go to an e-bike from a pedal bike, because you'll have the peg that'll be right through the axle. You can stunt on that, do even more combos. So that'll be super cool. I will say it definitely looks a decent bit smaller than the RTR. I haven't seen them side by side yet, but it looks like there's a decent size difference, and that's to be expected with those smaller wheels. But I think it's going to be such a cool little romp around bike. I think it'll be so fun. So yes, I will be adding one to the stable as soon as I get that bike. I'm going to make a full video on it. We're going to range test it, all that fun stuff, so you guys can see how it works in the real world actually riding it. Now, my biggest qualm, I guess you could say qualm with it, is at first, when I first saw the rendition of it, Austin was kind enough to show it to me before it was released. and I wasn't a huge fan of it at first. I thought it looked a little goofy, I won't lie, with those super wide front forks, but it's definitely grown on me the more I looked at it. And there's just so much you can do as far as customization. You can literally make it look like a cafe racer. You can make it look like a mini bike. You can do a little supermoto style build. There's so much potential, and it's just awesome to have yet another option from Electron Company, the company that I've been working with and using their product for the last 3 years. So you know you're gonna get the same support, you know you're gonna get the same quality, same experience, same fun factor, and so on. Now the biggest question is, how much does it cost? And it costs exactly the same as the RTR Lite. So it's gonna cost you $21.99, cheaper when you use discount code ConnorG at checkout to save. So if you're looking at that $2,000 to $2,500 budget range, you're gonna really be between those two bikes. And it's, again, the exact same power plant, same ability to mod it, all of that jazz. It's just gonna be the style of bike that you want. Now, I am typically biased towards dirt bike style bikes. So when I have my Telaria XXX, there's a reason I tried to make it look like a dirt bike and I didn't ditch the front fender like some people do, because I love the way dirt bikes look. But this is just a whole different class of e-moto. Should I make it a cafe racer? Probably won't do that. But I'm just so excited to get it, and it's so cool to see a company that keeps innovating, a company that actually listens to the market. They're not making Tutios out here. They're 48 volt and not powerful enough, not enough range, and ugly. So I'm really excited. Again, aesthetics I think is the biggest thing that people are iffy on. TikTok, a lot of people are essentially comparing it to a Tutio because it's not that well received right away, but I think it's gonna grow on people. I think it's something that the more you look at it, the more you get familiar with it, and you kind of start to like it. So it's grown on me. I can't wait to get one, but it's awesome just to have yet another option, truly. Damn, and we are in frickin' farm country now, buddy. The RTR Lite was such a great bike when it came out because it delivered so much power, range, performance for such an entry-level price. And again, $2,200 still isn't nothing. I understand it's a big chunk of change, especially if you're like a teen, you're trying to save up money, scrape up money to get a good bike, but I promise you it's worth it spending a little bit more to get something like the Lite or the Rizzler, even if you're into that, or the RTR. It's more money, but it's gonna last you way longer. You're gonna enjoy the bike for much longer. I'll always recommend that over getting like a $1,000 Tutio or VipQ or something like that. Again, I like that those bikes help get people in the market, but if you just save a little bit more, be a little more patient, you can definitely get a better bike. And it's a bike that you'll want to keep. Stoppy. Bring it into a circle ski? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, so I can't wait to wheelie the Rizzler. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Apparently it's a wheelie cheat code bike, so I'll be the judge of that. As with any of these bikes, my first suggestion would be to change the chain, put on the RLV or the thick chain, get it upgraded, make sure it's dialed, because the chains are failure points on these little bikes, and you gotta stay on top of it. You gotta lube your chain, you gotta keep it tensioned correctly, because that is the first failure point that I see. Other than that, throw some brakes on. It's already basically got supermoto wheels, so it's got great tires to wheelies, so you're golden there. But I am just hoping that Electron Co goes ahead and releases a bigger bike. That would be sick. Release a Sur-on-sized bike, whew, then we'll be happy. Damn, look at that front yard. Now the Rizzler is not officially yet available. It is available for order come Black Friday. So that's when I believe they'll start shipping and they'll be directly available for everyone to cop. So make sure you're on Electron Co's email chain. They'll notify you once it does come in stock, but just plan for Black Friday. And you can use my discount code ConnorG to save on top of that discount you're gonna get. In other news, guys, it's freezing cold out here. It's 30 degrees, but you know ConnorG doesn't take any time off. He rides all winter through the cold, through the rain, through the snow. So definitely expect content from me still. It's gonna be a little bit harder just because it's so freaking miserable living in the Northeast. I'd love to move somewhere warm, but hopefully we do plan to go visit Red Shogo in LA soon for some nice warm weather. So that should be exciting. A little rolling burnout. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know down below. If you have any thoughts on the new Rizzler, also definitely let me know down below. If you're curious how I got this thing street legal, go watch the last video. But yeah, guys, Electron Co, always innovating, best bikes, most fun bikes, work with them forever, love their stuff. Rizzler coming to the channel soon. Let me know down below as well what you'd like to see on the Rizzler. You know we're gonna give it the ConnorG treatment, so we're gonna do wheelie test, jump test, off-road test, all that stuff, range test, upgrade it. So yeah, so excited for that. But first things first, we need to get a 6.7 on this thing ASAP. But otherwise, guys, I'll catch you very, very soon. Road to 100K. Please sub. Peace.